you guys, it's Margot, and today we are doing another college video, which I'm so excited for. This video is kind of time intensive, as you might need a month or two to prepare for college, and this is everything I wish I knew before I went to college. So I just finished my freshman year at Syracuse University, so this is from my experience, and I also asked a bunch of friends and some older friends. This is in no order. Maybe I should have ordered it, but it's alright. I wish I had a video like this, and honestly, if you are going into your freshman year, genuinely, I would get a notepad and start taking notes because I have some good tips. I'm gonna start with something that you actually need to do way before, and this is for like incoming juniors to high school because I know that some younger people watch my college videos also, and that is that AP scores matter. So I took a few AP classes and the AP tests weren't really stressed that much. Like, yeah, we prepared for it a little bit, but I didn't really understand the importance of what score I got just because it didn't really reflect my grade in the classes, and that's what I was focused on at the time. However, I'm begging you that you study for your AP test and try to aim for a 4 or a 5, just because basically these AP scores can take place of classes, which, trust me, is huge in college. I know a bunch of people that didn't have to take math or that didn't have to take a grammar class or something like that, and if you can forego those classes because you've gotten a higher AP score, it's so helpful. So definitely try hard. And if you are going into college, make sure that all of your scores transfer over. You do have to send in your scores, so make sure you do that because I promise you it will save you so much time and stress. Next is that you will spend so much money at school, even if you don't think you will. Please, please, please start saving your money. Don't spend it on dumb stuff this summer. Get a job, babysit, help around the house, like do whatever you can to scrape together money for college because I promise you, your money will just fly out of your pocket. It sounds kind of depressing, but you don't realize all of the costs that have to do with going out or going to restaurants because you really should get off campus once in a while. You're gonna need stuff for parties, and there's just a lot of costs that you don't really think about before you go to school just because you think like, oh, everything I need is on campus, I have a dining hall plan, blah, blah, blah. Trust me, you will spend money, and you're gonna spend more money than you think you will. As a first semester freshman, you don't really have to worry about this, but as a going into second semester freshman, you do. So I'm just gonna say it now, and that is that no one will tell you what classes actually count towards your core and towards the credits that you need. So before you spend a semester, like I did, taking 3 classes that don't even count towards your core and might actually mess up my minor, make sure you talk to your advisor. I promise you, college is not like high school, and people aren't going to be pushing you to talk to your advisor about classes. You're not going to have to go to your advisor. I went to the advisor at the end of the semester to talk about this semester's classes that's coming up, and it turns out so many credits that I took don't even really help me. So please make sure when you have to pick your own classes that you're going and you're just making sure that everything will help you in the long run. This is kind of a harsh truth, and that is that you probably will gain weight. Please don't worry about this too much. You're in college to have fun, to meet new people, to study, to not get much sleep. And if losing weight is at the top of your list, then you probably have your priorities mixed up. As long as you're being conscious a little bit about your health and you're getting sleep and you're exercising, don't worry too much. You can always have that buffer month when you get home just to go to the gym, which is what I did. It's totally normal. I don't think the freshman 15 is normal. I don't think gaining 15 pounds is really realistic unless you just really let yourself go. But I definitely put on somewhere between 5 to 10 pounds at school. It sounds dramatic, but also I'm still growing, which is kind of weird. I know I'm old, but that's another story. I'm just growing into my body, and I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it. If you gain weight, so what? You can always work it off, but that's something that might happen. If you are sensitive to light when you're sleeping, I would bring either a sleeping mask or bring a blackout curtain, just because college curtains are really sheer and they're usually white, so they don't block out much light. Most of the time you will be having to get up pretty early for classes, or maybe not, maybe your first class is at 10 every day, but on the weekends, or for whatever reason, if you do want to sleep in, if you're sick or whatever, I would have something to block out the light. For me, I just used a sleeping mask because it's a little bit less of a hassle, but if you're sensitive to that, then blackout curtains, a few of my friends had. I think I talked about these next 2 points actually in my college essentials video, so I'm gonna link that down below, and I'm not gonna go too far into these. But 2 things that you definitely need are fans and sick, cold, whatever medication. Fans are crucial. I go to a school in one of the coldest cities in America, and if I didn't have a fan for the first month of school, I probably would have transferred to a school in Alaska. It gets really, really, really hot when you don't have air conditioning, and a lot of dorms surprisingly don't have air conditioning. So just bring a fan, it'll make you feel a lot better. They can be really small, so it's easy to bring to and from college. The other thing I just mentioned was having sick medications. I was sick, I'm pretty sure, the entire time that I was at college. I get sick pretty easily, but that being said, it would have been awful if every time I got sick I had to walk to the CVS to get NyQuil, ZQuil, melatonin, Dayquil, whatever you use. I don't even use that much medication, but it was nice to just know that I had stuff on hand. So if I was feeling under the weather, I would have stuff and I didn't have to make a big ordeal about going out and getting it. Really quickly about sororities, whether you're rushing first or second semester, rushing is basically the process of joining a sorority, and that's when you go to all the different houses typically, talk to the girls, and it's really, really, really long days, and quite honestly, the rush process sucks. It's awful. I was so stressed during rush, but it is so, so worth it. I really recommend that even if you don't plan on joining a sorority, maybe you just rush just to see the houses and meet new people, and you can decide near the end of rush if you do want to continue and pick a house. I just think it's a really great experience, but you're not alone if you feel like it's the worst weekends of your life, because it is a lot and it's really stressful, but I promise it's worth it. So attendance in college is very different than attendance in high school. High school, you kind of have to go to class. Your parents are going to get a call if you don't go. There's going to be repercussions. You might have detention. That doesn't really happen in college at all. A lot of my classes did take attendance. Even if there were lectures, there would be attendance through codes or whatever on your computer. However, even if there's not attendance, it's so important to go to class. Not only are classes extremely expensive, I think typically a class is like $50 to $60 just for one class when you do the math with the tuition. But also, your professors are really only going to teach you things that are on your final exam, and your final exam makes up a huge percent of your grade in most classes. Finals week is really intense, so just make sure that you went to class and you were taking notes and you were paying attention and like actually mentally there, because you're going to be really disappointed in yourself when you sit down to study and you have no idea what the material is about. I thought this one was really funny. When I was asking my friends what advice they would give to freshmen, my friend Brigitte said this and all of us agreed, quote, avocado like isn't a thing in college. That is literally the truest thing ever. If I wanted avocado, I had to go off campus to the restaurant that I always go to. So just brace yourself if you're an avocado junkie like me. Sending all my best wishes to you. Good luck in this difficult time of no avocados. Unless you go to school in California, then you and your avocados. You definitely don't need to pack as many clothes as you think you do. I promise you, you are going to have a bunch of clothes and shoes, especially shoes, and bags also that you just never really use. My biggest tip when you're packing clothes and accessories and everything is the majority of the things that you pack should be the things that you wear a ton. Don't think you're gonna like change up your entire style right when you go to college. If you get to college and you realize you want to do that, then great, you can bring stuff back from home or order stuff or whatever. But the things that I wore the most were the things that I typically wear a lot. So those are just my basics of like black leggings, pullover sweaters, the same like 3 sunglasses, winter jackets. Really just focus on the basics when you're packing, and then if you have space you can add in some extra things, but don't go overboard on all of the clothes and everything that you don't typically wear. This is so important. Please, 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 everybody do this. Have a recycling bin or bag or whatever in your room. I promise you 80 to 90% of the things that you're throwing out are actually trash, because you're probably going to be throwing out papers and cups and water bottles, and these are all things that should be recycled. please, 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 just because you're not living at home, that doesn't mean you shouldn't be recycling. So important. And if you get one thing from this video, I want all of you to have a recycling bin in your dorm rooms, and I expect you guys to tweet me pictures. That'll make me the happiest girl ever. This, I think, is really important, and it's that if you don't feel that your college is a right fit and that you're not getting the most out of college, transferring is totally okay. I know there might be a stigma with transferring, but my cousin is transferring to University of Wisconsin, which I'm so excited for her. Truth be told, this is kind of scary, but when you're a senior in high school, you have no idea what you actually want. You haven't experienced college, you haven't experienced different types of schools and environments, and if you get to somewhere and you're either there for a semester or a year and you realize that's not a good fit, then you shouldn't really be hesitant about looking into other schools, visiting, and maybe transferring there. Lastly, you are going to forget what it's like living at home. When I came home for the summer, it was a rude awakening. I forgot how to be a child again in my parents' house. Obviously, I'm very responsible at school and I know how to take care of myself and keep my space clean and myself organized. But a lot of that shifts when you get back home. You just kind of forget how things are run. You forget what curfews are like. And it is your parents' house and you have to respect them and respect their rules. But it's not going to be easy. So good luck to you. That is all for all of my tips for everyone who's going into college, or maybe you're transferring or going to be in college in 2 years or 3 years. I hope this video was helpful. If you are new to my channel, I have a playlist of college videos if you're interested in that, and a whole bunch of other videos. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next video.